Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Splash here, and today we got another Diablo 4 video for you guys. And today we're actually going to be going over the recent live stream update they did regarding Season 2, Season of the Blood. So they had their developer live stream update going over a lot of the gameplay changes, what's going to be coming to Season 2, some of the end game changes, and that's going to be what this video is about. We're going to go dive into the Blizzard news topic that they put out. It's pretty much like a patch notes of what's coming. So we're just going to dive into that. We're going to go over everything that they put on it. We're going to even go over some of the new vampiric powers and the seasonal changes. So we're going to kind of briefly go over everything that they discussed on that live stream, and then we'll actually be doing another video once they have the second developer live stream, or the campfire update, I think is what they're calling it, which is more of the class balancing changes, the buffs, nerfs that are coming for each individual class, and they even said that they're going to be changing pretty much every unique in the game. So I'm excited to see what's going to be coming with that stream. And they also said that resistances are going to be fixed and things like that. So that'll be another video. This one is mainly just going to be on the first live stream update. So just want to make that clear, but let's go ahead and get right into it. Alright, so here we are over on the Blizzard site, the Blizzard news page, and they've already put this up. It was posted October 4th, which was the day that they had the live stream. It says here, descend into the Diablo 4 developer update live stream. That's exactly what we're going to do here today. Alright, let's get into it. Okay, so first thing we see here is 5 new endgame bosses. 5 endgame bosses have been added across Sanctuary. Nice. Endgame experience is offered, providing better opportunities to obtain specific uniques and uber unique items. So we're going to be able to target farm uniques, and it looks like we're going to be able to farm uber uniques from these bosses. I think they said specifically the Duriel boss is the name. Right here, the Duriel boss has a significantly increased chance to drop uber uniques, making the process of accessing these coveted items more achievable. Huge W. I mean, I don't know why they would release the game in the first place and make those items nearly impossible to get, which they were. So huge W overall, and just the fact that we're going to have more endgame bosses to fight other than Uber Lilith. I think that's a huge W. Okay, moving on to the endgame activities. Time between Legion events has been reduced. Warning timers have been increased. Fix some issues, so that's overall a W. World boss fight is available more frequently, so from 6 hours to 3.5 hours. That's huge. I mean, even for somebody that like plays this game as a content creator and streams it, I feel like even them, they were only able to hit like 2 on a good day if they played literally all day. So I think having the world boss every 3.5 hours is great, especially for casual players, and then increasing the warning timer. No, that's good as well. Gold and experience rewards have been increased, so Helltide chests, cashing in grim favors, and completing individual whispers. Huge W's overall. To ensure enemies constantly give experience relative to the current player level, the Nightmare sigils rewarded from whisper caches will not always be within 5 levels. That's huge W. Not a big change, but huge W. You know, it's the little changes that go a long way. Like little things like that. You know, when you're doing tier 70 nightmare dungeons and then you happen to double dip, you did a nightmare dungeon that was also a whisper, you go to claim your rewards, and then you get like a tier 20 nightmare dungeon. It's like a slap in the face. So I think that's great. Whisper caches, tier to this item slot in the cache. Okay, so I think that's a bug fix actually, because I noticed that if I would choose like the amulet cache or the ring cache, I'd sometimes maybe get like 1 ring or 1 amulet out of it. So I think what they're saying is now you're actually going to get only that item that you choose. Moving on to experience and monster leveling, decrease the time spent to reach level 100, making the journey about 40% faster. Huge W overall. It's going to make people want to actually create new characters, play the game even more, and it's just good for the casual player. And then they did that by increasing the experience gained, which makes sense. Prevent monsters from being less powerful as the character level increases by making monsters in World Tier 3 and 4 match the current player level. Good. Nightmare Dungeons. Expedited the demon slaying process. Okay, sick. So Nightmare Sigils now put you directly in the Nightmare Dungeon. Not sure why they thought to put you outside of it in the first place, but again, another small change, but it goes a long way. Let's see. Objectives have been removed. I know that's a huge W for a lot of players. Okay, they changed some of the affixes here. Backstabbers, huge W. I used to delete anything that had backstabbers, so looks like you could actually do those now. Monster crit resist isn't going to be as damaging to us. That's nice, only 3 seconds. Death pulse, I got mixed feelings about this. I think this should have been removed personally. Lightning storm I think still needs to be removed. Even after reading some of these changes, my biggest concern with lightning storm is just the group play. It's just a poorly designed affix. It shouldn't be in the game. Drifting shade, same thing. I don't think it should be in the game. Says here that they massively reduced backtracking by fixing like the nightmare dungeons and some of the layouts. You know, they showed an example on the live stream. If you guys want to go back and watch that, like I said, links will be in the description, but it honestly didn't really look like they changed much, so that's just something I'll have to test in game, to be completely honest with you. And then they put here, increase the Paragon Glyph experience, another W. Events, made dungeon events more worthwhile. NPCs should no longer be killed in one hit. So on the events where it says, you know, keep the survivors alive, won't get one-shotted, so that's good. Item adjustments. I think this whole paragraph right here is W's, but freed up inventory space by making gems a crafting material. Huge. Prevented players from losing their progress on a hardcore character from disconnecting. So scroll of escapes now consume your... Well, if you disconnect, it now consumes your scroll of escape. That's good. Reduce the chance of being locked into certain stats on legendary item by reducing their overall enchanting costs. Huge W. I've had items that cost 30 mil per reroll. It's annoying. Reduced overburdening inventories and causing unnecessary trips in the town. Okay, so I think what they're saying here, and they did say this, that once you get into World Tier 3s and 4s, you will only get the gear that's, you know, respective for that tier. So for World Tier 3, only Sacreds. World Tier 4, only Ancestrals. W's. That way you're not picking up everything. And then down here, huge W's as well. Helltide cash rewards now provide plus 20 item power. And one of the devs actually tweeted out that the new item power cap is going to be 925. So previously being like 825, it's going up 100 to 925. That's just going to make us, you know, way stronger. So it's going to improve our damage, our resistances, and pretty much everything about our character just by increasing the item power. And then the miscellaneous improvements. Reduce the time spent having to regain the renown. Huge W. Nobody likes doing the renown. I think everybody in the community has said that multiple times. You know, we don't want to redo it. And this also applies to hardcore. That's good. This is another huge W changed. Items can now be marked as favorite and cannot be sold or salvaged. So it's kind of like a lock item feature. You know, instead of locking your item, you're basically just favoriting it, meaning you can't sell it or salvage it. Also adding 2 additional slots, character slots that is, not stash tabs. Hopefully they add more stash tabs, but for now we're getting 2 more character slots. And ease the ability for players that haven't completed the campaign to access seasonal content earlier by adding the option to skip the campaign on character creation if any character on your account has completed the prologue. So before, you weren't allowed to skip the campaign unless you actually completed the entire campaign on at least one character. So now I think they're saying you can actually just do the prologue and you'll be able to skip the campaign. I think that's a W for new players just getting into the game. Mounts, they did say that mounts are going to overall feel a lot smoother. They're not going to get stuck. They're not just going to randomly slow down. The speed's going to increase and the base speed is actually increased. This isn't going to stack when you're at top speed, but just the base speed. So like when you're just cruising around your horse around town, you're going to be 15% faster. huge W. And then they just cooldowns for some of the stuff has been reduced, like the force dismount cooldown, the manual dismount cooldown, all have been reduced. So that's W's all around. Town adjustments, additional stashes have been added to the capital cities. Reduce the need to travel to capital cities by adding stashes to small towns with waypoints. Reduce the need to travel to capital cities by adding occultists to the Tree of Whispers. That's a huge W. And yeah, so they pretty much just put stashes in the towns that already had stashes in more places, and then they put the Curiosities vendor closer to all the other vendors in all the towns. Improved item sorting and overall organization. We can see that right here with the filters down here, so you can filter like legendaries, rares, uniques. I think that's huge W, and hopefully they're working on a filter system for actually picking up loot too. But overall, that's pretty much everything for Season of the Blood as far as the gameplay changes. They also have this right here. This is more of the actual like seasonal mechanic. So this kind of talks about the vampiric powers, what they do, how they work, things like that. And it's quite interesting. I think a lot of people were worried it was going to be just like the Malignant Hearts, where you slot it into like your ring or your amulet, and it gives you a power. But one thing that they did say is the vampiric powers, and this is a picture of kind of what it looks like. So you get to have 5 active powers. But one thing that they're doing is they're making it so the powers are universal between like all characters. So rather than Season 1 where some of the hearts were only usable on certain characters, we're trying to make it so all vampiric powers can be used on all characters. That way you can mix and match the type of builds that you do. But as you guys can see, there's a lot more to read on here, and like I said, it's mostly just about like the powers, and like about the new seasonal quest line. So that's not really the stuff I really wanted to dive deep into, but if you guys want to check this out, again, all the links will be in the description for the VOD if you want to watch the live stream. You want to look at all these like news articles on the patch notes and stuff, I'll have everything linked down below. So again, if you guys liked it, feel free to comment, like, subscribe. It does help me a lot. And as we get closer to Season 2, I will be putting out a lot more content. The reason I haven't been posting a lot is just because I haven't really been playing Season 1. I got like 3 characters level 100, and then it kind of just got really stale for me. So that's why I'm waiting for Season 2. But I do want to keep making content. I want to keep streaming. So that's what I'm going to continue to do as Season 2 is right around the corner. So for the next live stream update, I'll probably make another video going over those, class balance changes, things like that. But as always, guys, appreciate you, and we'll see you on the next one.